Ready? Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Walk in Love podcast. I am TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we are going to have our recap episode. This is the last episode of the year. So it's pretty cool. I feel like a news person. We got papers today.
We got notes.
We got notes. Hey-o. Hot off the press. Hot off the printer. Thank you for listening.
Which we then turned off.
Which we then turned off because it makes our mic sound weird for whatever reason. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making this part of your week. Thank you for watching on the YouTubes. Thank you for listening on the podcast. We know you got a lot going on this time of year, and so we appreciate you spending time with us. We hope that it's fruitful and enjoyable, funny, all the things.
Delightful.
I ate 2 caramels before we started. Not smart.
Not a great idea. Are you thirsty now?
I'm thirsty and I'm worried my throat's going to get all clogged up from caramel.
Okay.
But I think I should be fine.
Classic caramel clog.
Yeah. So we are going to recap the year.
Yes.
And this is probably one of the episodes I look forward to the most, which is not how Brooke works.
No.
But
I'm not looking forward to it.
Right.
But it's very difficult for me to answer these questions.
Yes. Which we were preparing right up to the last very minute.
What if one of my things changed in the last 10 minutes?
Right.
I can't write this in advance.
I don't know. And you're not like I want to say a rememberer.
That would be accurate.
You know, like
coupled with you are excited about everything. Well, you find the music, you find the movies, you find the stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's good.
Yeah. We took a spiritual gifts test recently, and basically it described that for me. It was like, if you know about something, does everyone know about it? And I'm like, yes. Why wouldn't they?
But the answers were like, I forget, or often, sometimes, or very often. Like, all of your answers were extreme.
It was like never, sometimes, very often.
Yeah.
Almost never, sometimes, very often. Yeah. And I was either almost never or very often.
Yeah. And I was like, occasionally.
Occasionally.
Click. Sometimes click.
So we have a few reviews to read because we just love hearing what you guys have to say about the episode. Throughout this episode, we're going to talk about like our top things from the year. We have a bunch of different categories we're going to go through. Some are fun, some are serious, some are heartwarming. But we would love to know what yours are if you had like a favorite of certain categories. So you can't really do that on the podcast reviews because that would be kind of hard. But even if you just listen, go to YouTube and comment so that we can read them and see kind of what your favorites of the year were. So first, a review from the podcast world. Humor. I have it too. 5 stars. If you love Jesus, The Office, and to laugh out loud constantly, this podcast is for you. Brooke and TJ are hilarious and so down to earth. They are like your best friends you wish you had. That sounded sad. I have real friends too. Awkward laugh. But for real, I love listening and have profited immensely from their wisdom and insight. That's all. Okay, I love you. Bye. Thank you.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. I like the I have friends too.
Yeah.
That sounded sad. I have real friends. Do you? That's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Sierra Steph on the YouTube said, not sure how I'll get another massage again without picturing myself looking like a piece of beef jerky.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
A lot of people like that. My dad listened and said my mom and dad listened. They had to go pick up my brother and his family from the airport, and they listened on the way. And they said they were just dying. My mom said my dad was laughing so hard. And then we went over that night for dinner to see Nick and his family. And my dad goes, I don't know, TJ, I think Brooke was funnier this episode. So my Christmas has been ruined, and
too far.
That's how it felt to me. Actually, it felt like my dad was like, I like the episode. And I was like, oh, that's great. Brooke's funnier. No. I'll take it though. You are funnier actually a lot of the times. You're just quieter. That. So today is an episode. Occasionally.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Very often. That's DJ.
Very often. Extreme. Emotions, nothing. So today is an episode we're going to look back on the year. But before we do that, let's look back on the week. Brooke, how was your week? And I wrote it down there so you can read it.
Oh, amazing. My week was good. Yeah, my week was good.
Actually good.
Let's see. It snowed this week.
Yeah,
that
like
was one of
10
the big
10 inches, 8 inches,
here.
9 inches. I don't know. People were like, how many inches are you getting? I'm like,
I don't know.
Do I go out with a ruler? Or
enough to go sledding, enough to we still have snow. It's still sitting out there.
Yeah.
Still sitting out there.
Nice. Snow update. Snow update.
Snow date.
Snup date 2020. Snow is still out there.
We got it.
Hey, extra, read all about it.
So that was fun. You made the sledding hill in the backyard.
Yep.
Which was, you climbed up the backside of Taylor and Kelsey's picnic table. The kids would start their hill on the top.
Yeah.
And then you would go down over it, down off their steps and across our driveway.
It was fun.
So it was like just long enough that the kids were like, this is fun. I feel like I'm sledding. But it wasn't like you were traipsing up a giant hill.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do.
With toddlers.
To do it a bunch of times.
Lasts like twice.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. What else?
Go to the notes.
My dad, I know, I'm trying to switch. My split screen didn't save.
Oh.
So I got to fix this.
Yeah. Okay.
But.
Up to the last minute, folks.
Well, it says it's saved. And then every time I try to move it down, it doesn't do anything. Anyway, so we celebrated my dad's 60th birthday.
Yep.
So that was super fun. 60. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All of our parents are 60 though. He was last.
He was the last. Yep. He's the youngest.
His birthday's actually today, which the day we're recording this today.
Yeah.
Time travel.
Great Scott.
So that was fun. It was just. What else do we do? Well, we went to your parents' house, like you said.
Yeah, my brother's in town. My sister had a baby. That was big news. She lives in San Diego. She had her baby. Luca Joy now lives in San Diego. She's the youngest of 4, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So they're not coming back for Christmas. Obviously, makes a lot of sense. But my brother came home and we went over to my parents' house to see him and have dinner. And we're introduced to the game Exploding Kittens, which was super fun.
Yeah. Which we've seen.
I've seen it, yeah. And I remember when it was like a big, huge Kickstarter project. And then as soon as we were done, I placed a Target pickup order and bought it.
Immediately.
Very often. Very often.
Always.
So that was super fun. My sister had a baby. The song is now streaming. Best Day With You, featuring Jessie Early by Walk in Love, is streaming on all platforms.
Yep.
It was funny. The day it came out, like it was super cool to just like, obviously I was very excited. It was super cool to just like get all the messages, people just saying that they love the song. Because Jessie is super, super talented. And so it was cool to see like people just appreciate her. It charted on iTunes purchases for singer-songwriter, which was awesome. And like everybody was like it went to Apple Music first, and then the next day it was on Spotify. And it was funny, like halfway through, like basically towards the end of the day on Spotify, my sister Sam texts us.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's also on Amazon Music, in case you were wondering. And it was just like, you are literally the first person to say that.
Yeah.
So it was super cool to see that. I think we'll have a giveaway live as this time is up. So we're going to do an Instagram Reels giveaway where you make an Instagram Reel to the song, and you'll be entered to win. And I think we're going to pick a winner based on the reel that we enjoy the most.
Pick a winner.
And I think we're going to have Jessie pick a winner.
Ooh.
So double winner.
Winner,
chicken dinner. So yeah, it was a really good week. We're gearing up towards Christmas.
I wrapped all our gifts.
I have not wrapped your gifts yet. Stocking gifts.
Right.
I already gave you your big gift. Just clarify.
Yeah,
but I'm excited for Christmas. The girls have been a little bit intense lately. They've been a little bit,
That's a good description of what it sounds like.
Oh, gosh, you guys are annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love you. But you're kind of annoying.
But also go find something to do.
Yeah. So I think it may be just because we haven't been able to be outside as much. I mean, the snow definitely helped, but then it was like, they were over it, sort of, but not really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. It's just kids being kids, but it's nice to be here without them.
Yeah.
True story. And so one thing I want to say about music and the song and all that kind of stuff is, so we do a song of the week.
Yeah.
On the podcast. Worship song of the week, song of the week. Now that we're on YouTube, though, it's getting flagged because we're playing parts of it, which is not a huge deal. But I'm gonna give a peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You're not even ready. Yep. Open the curtain. Here we go.
We got it.
Just got the ability to monetize on YouTube.
Yes.
Something that we've never had before.
Yeah.
I am super curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so I know we say we don't play ads because we don't like read ads, But on YouTube, there's going to be a short ad that plays, like one of the YouTube ads that you can skip.
Mhm.
I just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, are we making enough money to like do fun giveaways, or are we making like 85 cents? And
Right.
so if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see an ad. It's honestly just so I can see what it looks like. What does monetization look like from a YouTube perspective? I've never seen it, because like on the podcast perspective, I can know what the monetization would look like, because it'll
They
like
just
if
tell you
they'll
it's
tell
this
you
amount per download.
this amount per download it's like per 1,000 download.
Right.
And so like I can come up, but I don't know what YouTube is, so I just want to figure it out. So if you're like, why are they doing ads? It's because I really just want to know, and we're gonna try it. And if it's like
Very often. You just
I just want to know.
I know you do.
And so
I'm like, occasionally.
and so and so just skip the ad or watch it or whatever. All the ads that show up on my computer are beauty counter.
I know, it's so funny. I'm like, it's because I spent a lot
Yes.
of time on the website, and it's thinking, man, you just haven't purchased anything yet. Do it.
So we're gonna just add the songs to the Song of the Week playlist. It'll still be linked in the description, so you can still subscribe to it on Spotify or follow it on Apple or however it works.
Yeah.
And I actually think this way we'll add more songs, because sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes I listen to 3 or 4 songs that I really like that week, and then I add one, and then the next week I find 3 or 4 more, and then I don't add the previous 2. You know what I mean? And so I'm missing adding good music to the playlist. The Best Day With You is on the playlist. It will always be the first song on the playlist. Just want to make that super
That
clear.
is never getting bumped down.
But yeah, so that's what we're gonna try for a little bit. I hope you guys don't feel like, oh, it's ads. Do we get it? Like I honestly am just curious.
Yeah.
That's really the reason. It's not like we don't get enough views for it to be like, we're making huge money. Like I just want to see what it looks like.
No.
That's all. I'm just curious.
Cool.
Okay. That's it. So that was the notes about the song. We are going to recap 2020. Apparently on the first episode of the 2020 podcast, I just re-listened to part of it. I said, welcome to 2020. Your life is going to be terrible. So my bad, guys. That's my bad. What was happening was I was sneezing, and I was like, I was just stuffed up that day.
Yeah.
And
you were being funny.
And I had sneezed, and I said, oh, welcome to 2020. Your life's going to be terrible. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
I don't know if it was my fault, but I also didn't eat a bat. So I don't think it's on me.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that that's clear.
That's clear.
I didn't have the sniffles because I ate a bat.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So I always like to look back on the year and decide, and talk about what favorites are. So we're going to do that today, which I've said a bunch of times, but I'm excited. Anything you want to say before we get into that?
No, I struggle, as always, to make definitive statements.
Right.
Because I feel like, well, it might not be true tomorrow. And
Yeah. You might have forgotten
sometimes,
something.
occasionally,
Yeah.
click. And so I'm like, this episode feels exciting.
Do you feel like you're lying?
No, I'm not lying. But I'm like, well, I've probably forgotten an answer that I actually want to say. And so I feel like...
Are you going to hurt someone's feelings?
No.
Okay. I'm just trying to dig in a little deeper. What's the chair behind you, babe?
What's the chair behind me? That someone would think I wasn't telling the truth, because then a week from now, I'm like, oh, this was great. And they're like, but you didn't say that on the podcast.
Right.
And no one's ever said that, ever.
You're just worried about that potentially unrealistic situation happening.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So let's just jump right in.
Cool.
So starting light, your favorite albums of the year.
Okay.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
So what we're going to do is since we do the Mount Rushmore segment, which we kind of got away from a little bit, I think we're going to bring that back hard in 2021.
I like it.
We're going to do top 4, but they're not necessarily in order.
Right.
It's just 4 favorites from 2020. If you talk to Brooke in 6 months and she says something, don't tell her she's a liar because she didn't say it tonight. Let's give her that peace of mind together collectively. I will tell her she's a liar. So I'll leave that to me.
Okay.
You guys be kind to her. I will tell her. Liar! So my favorite albums of the year. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this here. We're going to link them. I think we're going to do a full blog post with all this stuff. Just
full
because,
blog. Okay.
full blog post. Because there's a lot to link in show notes.
Yeah.
So we'll just link that blog post when we get to it in 2022. Albums of the year for me: Recover by The Naked and Famous, Out of Body by Need to Breathe, Mama's Boy by Lainey, and Dark Side of Happiness by Armand J.
Yeah.
Probably the top one was Out of Body by Need to Breathe. I probably listened to that one the most.
And because they did singles for so long.
I was listening to that one for a long time.
It spanned a long period of the year by the time it finally came out.
But I'm a huge fan of listening to albums. Like start to finish, all the way through, like the musician probably wanted us to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they put them in order for a reason. Yeah.
Right. It was my first time listening. Shuffle. They're like, no, everything I've worked for.
You'll never get the subtle nuance.
But really, you probably won't.
Yeah, you won't. What about you?
So here's what's funny, and this is why I feel like about episodes like this, is that so just stick with me for a minute.
Okay, I'm here. I'm ready. Let me just put the seatbelt in.
If I was alone all the time, which I'm not, I would watch a movie here and there. I would seek out music. But because you are more excited in those areas, I tend to just be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And I like it.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't like the music, because if I didn't, I'd be like, this is stressing me out. Turn it off.
Go eating Cambria.
Right. It can only take so much. But, and so I feel.
You feel like your favorites are actually my favorites.
They're all yours.
Yeah.
And so then I feel like that's not very exciting.
Well,
but anyway.
on the day that you didn't regret marrying me,
yes,
we decided that two shall become one.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense.
Mostly.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the album by Need to Breathe. I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, what albums did I actually say when I was home alone?
Yeah. Hey,
device, play, blah, blah, blah. That was one of them. Definitely the same album by Lainey. I listened to that a lot in the car. I think Holiday Cheer by BN makes the list.
For sure. Christmas. That will be a Christmas album that we listen to year in and year out without fail. Yeah. It's so good.
It is so good.
Jessie Early is in BN. So if you like our song, you'll like ours.
And so I only have 3. I know if we're just going off of like plays, like, Spotify rap type deal, the Trolls World Tour soundtrack was on so
That was
often.
this year.
I know that was this year.
So that could be your
but
fourth.
It's not like I was listening to it alone.
Babe, I don't know.
Was I though?
One that you all often ask to listen to is Pep Talks by Judah and the Line.
Yeah.
But that
was my album last year.
Yeah, but still good. Still good. How about just songs?
Okay.
You want to go first or should I go first? Upstairs or downstairs, babe?
Downstairs, babe. I'll go first.
The most misquoted thing that we use.
Yeah, that's not even right.
It's not even right. It's just sort of the vibe of it.
what they're asking.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, Best Day with You. Like it
Best
has
Day with
to be
You
at the
featuring
top of
Walking
the
Up.
list.
Featuring Jessie Early by Walking Up. Top of the list for all of time.
Top of the list. I also really like Oh My Dad is a cute song. It's a kid song. I call it at the top of my list. It's You. And that made me think of that. Oh, it's so beautiful.
So many emotions.
So many emotions about my childhood. Okay. So also really enjoyed Grand Canyon by Matt Carney.
Nice.
I like anything
he
does pretty much. I definitely requested to listen to Banks, which is one of the specific songs off of that same
also on my list.
Need to Breathe album. And then I really enjoyed It Would Be You by Ben Rector, which was kind of the song he wrote about quarantine.
Yeah.
Which was basically like, if I had to spend a ton of time with somebody, it would be you.
To his wife.
Right.
Not to you.
Not to me.
Or to me.
No. Mm-mm.
Although I think if Ben and I got to spend some time together, I think he might be me. I don't know.
It might be.
We'll see.
It might be you.
It might be you. Remix to TJ, who I've never met. My songs were Best Day with You, obviously. Jessie Early, amazing. Will never be beat ever in the history of time. Just Because by Judah, which is Judah and the Lions' solo project.
Yeah.
And it's more worship based. Banks by Need to Breathe. And Beautiful Anyway by Judah and the Lion. Followed closely by the other single that they released called Spirit.
Followed closely by.
Followed closely by anything that they do. So those are the songs. The next category we're going to go to was movies, which was really hard because every movie got canceled this year due to events of 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've realized something big happened in 2020 that changed the way culture works. Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what's happening?
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. So movies were a big part of that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to the movie theater. I went once at the beginning of the year. I went twice at the beginning of the year before everything got shut down. And then I went once when they opened right back up and then once with you. So I think I only went to the movies 4 times this year.
Oh, yeah, we saw.
Which is really depressing. No, I went 3 times at the beginning of the year because I went to the last movie that was out. I went to Onward.
Oh yeah, you did. And you were like cleaning the seats.
Yeah.
So it was like we knew something was going on, but yet it wasn't like nobody leave your house yet.
Yeah. So we did that. So my 4 movies this year were Love and Monsters, which is actually really funny and really good. That's one that we rented that as like a movie night, date night. Onward, which is the last movie I saw in the theater before everything shut down. Trolls World Tour, classic.
Yeah.
And then
I'll just stop you right there and say those are my 3.
Those are your 3.
Because I literally don't think I saw any other movies.
I think we watched maybe like a few like on Amazon Prime or Netflix before we canceled it.
Did we?
I think maybe we did. I
watched Knives Out this year and liked that, but that didn't come out this year.
Right, yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, we didn't
watch. I was a little late to the game.
A little late to the game, but we didn't watch a ton of movies this year.
No.
Because normally we watch new movies.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't as many options, and like streaming them at home is just not the same.
No. We did watch Tenet, but we're still not sure if we saw it or what was happening.
Yeah. The pitch meeting for Tenet is really good because he starts playing music too loudly during the whole thing, which was my main complaint. Oh, so frustrated by that.
Yeah.
Visually pretty cool, but it was like too confusing for everybody, and I just feel like he was like, I'm gonna make something super confusing that you have to say you liked.
This looks cool, and then we left, and I was like, where am I? Yeah. What is happening?
And then my last one was The Gentleman, which was like a gangster movie that I did actually see in the theater at the beginning.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It had McConaughey. It had your boy McConaughey in it.
All right.
All right. Brooke's listening to the Matthew McConaughey. Did you finish it yet?
No, I actually totally forgot about it till this moment. I should put that on my books list. See? This is what happens.
You're listening to the autobiography, and you like she'll be listening in headphones and just start laughing.
Well, he reads it, and he's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really like him in real life.
I think I would. He's a Texan. I think I'd like him.
But
I usually like people from Texas.
Yeah.
I just want that to be known. If
I
meet someone,
brother-in-law's from Texas.
Yeah, and I like him.
What else do we know from Texas?
Yeah. So.
Should we just start listing people who live in Texas?
Adam and Danielle Busby live in Texas. We like them.
Texas, I do like them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Books. You read some books. We read some books this year.
We did.
And that's actually one of my goals for next year is to read 2 books a month. 2 non-fiction books a month. I've said it here. That's going to be a stretch for me. I'm not a quick reader. But if I read a little bit every day, I can read 2 books in a month.
Yes, you can. I believe in you.
I sort of believe in myself.
Well, wait till we get my lessons I've learned this year, and you'll really believe in yourself, babe.
Wow. I'll go first. My favorite books this year were Parenting with Heart by Stephen James and Chip Dodd. If you're a parent, I totally recommend it 100%. It's like it is my favorite parenting book I've read.
Yeah.
Encouraging, positive, practical, just all the things you want from a book when you're dealing with children.
Right.
Followed by The Household and the War for the Cosmos by C.R. Wiley. So that one is less practical and it's more like 200,000 foot view. Yeah. Not even 10,000 foot view, more like a 200. It's more like theory.
It's not heady, but
but it is. Yeah. Sometimes I've read it and I was like, I am not smart enough for this. But it was really good just about how like vision for the family really matters and how Western culture's kind of gotten off track for how the family should operate. Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, which I'm currently listening to. I'm still listening to it, but each book, I listen to those books.
Yeah.
Each book is about 50 hours. So I'm on the 4th book. So I'm within 150 and 200 hours
deep
of this book, of this series, and I love it.
Didn't you see someone on a plane reading that?
Yes. We were going to San Diego, and you kind of peeked back, and you were like, and I stopped, and I was like, dude, that book is so good, right? He's like, isn't it so good? And I was like, yes. He's like, I haven't met anybody that read it. And I'm like, oh man, the second one's even better.
I love you.
Gave him a little kiss, and then we
got off the plane. It was really weird.
And the last one I re-listened to 1984 by George Orwell, which is a little creepy when you think about it in the scheme of culture, because some of it is so accurate. But it is also so impressive that he wrote what he wrote so long ago.
Right.
And not really saw the future, but like, I mean,
Kinda.
Yeah. There are parts of it that are prophetic to some of the things happening in culture today. And I'm just like, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what about you, babe?
My books would be The Lazy Genius Way. Very enjoyable.
Which you read in like
2 days.
2 days.
If that. Actually, I had to message her. I was like, I just need you to know that I've never read a book so fast in my life. So
that's high praise, I think, for an author.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to tell you.
Yep. Give her a quick kiss.
Yep.
Okay, love you, bye.
And then I read The Ministry of Ordinary Places, which was excellent. That was actually like quoted in The Lazy Genius Way. Like it was like a real small thing, but she quoted a lot of things in there, but that one just kind of caught my attention and I enjoyed that one, read that one. I'm pretty positive it was this year that I read The Sacred Enneagram.
Yeah.
I just don't think that was all the way. Maybe I finished it this year, but
I think so, yeah.
I feel like that was early on in winter that I kind of worked through that, which was just excellent.
Yep.
And then one that I'm almost finished with, which I've got how many days until, to finish it and not be a lie, you guys, would be You're Not Enough and That's Okay.
By Allie Beth
Stuckey.
Yeah.
So
cool. Those are cool. And we'll link them all in the blog post that we may or may not write. So this one's a little bit more serious and probably has a little bit more heart to it. What were your parenting wins of the year? Sure.
I'll go.
Yeah. I asked it like a question, so I figured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's you. All right. So we potty trained Sunny.
Yes.
That was huge. And it was actually very early on in the year.
Yeah.
And so I've sort of forgotten that we did that.
Right.
And I was like, we did that. And that has been amazing and helpful. And she was so much easier than June.
Yeah. So we've had 2 kids, as you know.
Didn't regret it.
Don't regret it. Don't regret getting married. One of our children, I'm not going to name names, we probably did everything wrong potty training her.
Yeah. If I can say, it was a combination between she just was more difficult and it was our first.
And we did everything wrong.
Names, but
yeah.
And I was not
not prepared
like I should have been. So maybe that was one of my books. I read that book this year.
Yeah. Oh crap! It's potty training. Potty training time.
I don't think that's the
I think
exact
it's poopy
title.
time.
It's poopy time.
Poopy diaper time.
Ew! Stop. Oh. But that really was helpful because that's really what it's about. So much.
And then
of
our other kid, not naming names, our younger one, she was a lot easier, and probably because we were more prepared.
Yeah.
So
much of parenting is just having your head in the game.
Yeah.
And knowing what you're doing.
Is listening to Zac Efron.
Get your head in the game.
All right. So that was one. That was also on my list.
Okay, cool.
Ditto.
So the funny thing is like my parenting wins, all of them, to be honest, except maybe the potty training one. I sort of feel like I can't take credit for it. And yet I feel like I can, because that's part of parenting. Like June learning how to swim and with such bravery.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, she did it. She put in the work to learn how to swim, but yet that was a big parenting win for us.
Yeah.
Just like, that is so cool. That's
I forgot about that. I'm putting
thing.
that on my list.
Oh, okay. Seeing the girls just settle in. Number 3 would be seeing the girls settle into like the rhythms we laid out for them.
Yeah, that's also on my list.
Like that was just really, really cool. And then having June start kindergarten really well.
Yeah.
Like it was, and I said that like even back when she did her 2 years of preschool. I was just like, is she going to cry when she goes in?
Because
like,
you cried until about 8th grade.
2nd grade.
Halfway through 8th grade, Brooke was still.
I was homeschooled in 8th grade, so let's hope not. I'm just alone in my room. I can't do it.
I can't do it.
School's too much. But yeah, so just that like she loves it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while she's like, I don't want to go to school. And I'm like, okay. But you also don't want to brush your teeth. So
yeah,
we'll just skip both. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that was cool because like there was a while there where she wanted to be homeschooled, and we actually had a conversation with her about what that would look like, and she actually was like, no, I actually don't want that. I actually want to make the decision, and that was cool to just like see that as a parent, like you understand what we're talking about, you understand what the stakes are.
Yeah.
And so so that was really, really cool. Mine those would also all be on my list. The rhythms especially was just like seeing that and knowing that when we took out the bowls for ice cream, they knew it was family dinner, they knew what to expect, and that we just like we've been perfecting those and changing them as needed depending on the time of year. One of my big wins, I forgot about the swimming. That one was huge.
Actually you probably taught her more how to swim than I did.
Yeah, that's
true.
To
be honest.
Yeah.
Like
was June helping me pack stickers after one of the collections, like because I tried it earlier in the year, it was a total disaster. everyone was crying, including myself. And then I tried it again, and she got it, and we've even done it another time since then. And so like that's a win, because like we want her to understand how we make a living and what we do for our jobs, and want our family to be included in that process so that they have a stake in the game. And so that was really cool, and that was a big win for us. But yeah. Okay, next category.
It's cool to think about that.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
All
like,
that stuff and more happened in a year's time.
Because this was both the longest and the shortest year of all time.
Yes, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Kind of feel that too.
Purchases. This is kind of a fun category. Okay. I'll go first because my first one is the top one. It is an air fryer. This is the year we got the air fryer. And I didn't even actually purchase it. My mom gave it to me. She bought it with her $2.2 million in Kohl's cash.
Yeah.
She invested some of that wisely. Return came in. She bought an air fryer, had it mailed to me. It was amazing. I would eat chicken wings every day if Brooke would allow me to. The next thing is we bought a minivan this year, which, hallelujah, hallelujah, the kids can get in the car by themselves.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
We used to have a minivan way back when. It wasn't great.
Is that the one where you could hear the water rushing through the door?
We had that one.
Or is that
one
before
died,
that?
and then we bought another one, which wasn't great. This was all to carry around our photo booth when we were wedding photographers.
Right. So we needed a specific size van
that it could fit.
That it could go up the ramp and fit in.
Yes.
We're both making
and
the
so then
same
we've been down to one and a half cars really for a long time. We have our Ford car, our normal family car, and then we had an old Honda Civic that we gave away this year. That we would basically just drive if we really had to be two places at once. But we've been saving for a van. We were able to buy a van this year, which was amazing. And I don't know why people knock the minivan. It is my favorite type of car.
It's so
hands
nice.
down. There's so much room. There's so much space for activities. Just so many things. My AirPod Pros would be on that list. Got the AirPod Pros this year. Use those almost every day as I clean. Listening to a book really helps me clean because it kind of makes me forget. I enter the world of Roshar, with Kaladin.
Got it.
So, and the Surge
Are they wizards? Or?
Oh, Brooke. Oh, don't you do that. You know exactly what they are. They're radiants.
Actually, no, they're not. I know they're not wizards. That's all I know.
The fourth best purchase I made, which
this is so funny
just happened the other day. We bought a third nugget. So the nuggets are the couches that we play on that you've seen in our, and everybody's like, where are those from? So Nugget is like, we just found out fastest growing manufacturing company in the US. They started a way back and they really reached out to influencers when they started early on, and we got 2 for free.
Yeah. We got 1 and then we loved it.
And then
then I think his name was Ryan, like one of the founders, reached out and was like, hey, would you consider posting again? And they were like offering payment. Yeah. And I was like, can I just have another nugget as my payment?
Yes.
Because TJ's obsessed.
Yeah. So we got another one.
Yeah.
And we've had 2 for a while. And they've had so much business that they just can't sell them fast enough. They can't stock them fast enough.
Yeah.
And so people have trouble.
Coupled with a weird year of manufacturing.
Yes. But even before that, they were like, it was just hard to get one. They were having raffles. Like you would enter a raffle to be able to buy one. Like, right. Which is just crazy.
Insane, but
so the other day they opened up pre-orders for the first time, and where they're like, we've got our manufacturing figured out. You can buy one if you buy and then they were like, on their site it was like, if you buy one today, you'll get it by March. If you buy one there, and they kept changing that date. So April 2021.
We're in for April.
Wow. The third nugget is coming, and I'm so excited. So many forts, so much more.
We might need a bigger house.
Yes.
I don't know. Is that worth it? Is that a good reason?
I think that's a good reason to just buy a bigger house, more nuggets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We're saying
can we afford it? I don't know.
I don't know. But
more nuggets. So clearly. Also, yes, we are saying nuggets a lot. I'm aware. I'm very aware.
Are you saying see the world or Sea World?
Which nuggets are you referring to, Brooke?
Yeah. Oh man, so good. I was asking about your kids. Oh gosh.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I don't know what episode that's on, but
it was early within this year, I believe. That's very funny. So maybe we can find it, or maybe somebody knows.
Yeah, and they can comment.
That'd be helpful.
Okay. What about you, babe? Purchases.
So the minivan. Yeah, for sure. Our Maui tickets.
Right.
Would be on there. I know, which doesn't count, but
we did have to buy them.
We did have to buy them, even though they were cheaper because of your mom.
Basically free.
But We still did.
Yeah.
Like we did it.
Yeah.
We were like, are we seriously leaving in 9 hours?
Yes.
To fly across the world. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Oh gosh, I'm going to go to Target.
I need to go to Target.
Yeah. We don't have anything. So that was awesome. Early in this year, we bought our couch.
Nice.
Which it was funny. I was trying to think of things that I just love that we bought this year. And that's one that it's silly, but it's a couch. But it was one of I can always tell when I made the right decision when I don't think about it anymore.
Right.
And I have not thought, oh, I wish we had that kind of couch or something like that would be helpful or bigger or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like ever since we got that, it was like done.
Right.
That was the one.
Yeah.
And then
we were able to give our other couch.
Yeah.
To your brother and sister-in-law.
I know, which is awesome.
Win-win.
Still a nice couch.
Win.
And then my fourth thing, I think, would be
This is the area you really struggled because you were like, I'm probably forgetting something.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of things I love that I got this year. I mean, a year's a long time.
Yeah.
But something that I consistently used from the moment I got it almost every week.
And you've purchased it now for other people.
Oh, yeah. I'm sending it to everybody that I can. Is my Olive and June manicure set. So, I know my fingers are up. My beef sticks are up. So, anytime I'm like, hey, guys, I'm here with my nails are
funnier
wet.
Than me. Dang it.
Well, yeah, I know. It took you all year to figure it out, but we're there. Yeah, it's why I'm always like, I'll be right there. My nails are wet because I'm actually doing my nails. And I was never one to go get a manicure. I mean, I have in my life. Right. Like once was a gift to someone and then once was like for a wedding or something. But but so Olive and June is a nail polish company out of LA, I think. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to try this. What happened was I followed them for a long time because they actually have a place, like you can go to their salon.
Wow.
In LA, I believe that's right. Somewhere in California like that. And then
So they had a place.
Right. Well, exactly. I don't know if they're still open or not. Not the point of this. But at Target, in the nail polish section, early on in this year, they had a little in-store display. And so I thought, oh, I've wanted to try this.
We're going deep into the Olive and June.
Here we are. Suddenly, I found myself awake and at Target. What?
That would be a good sound clip. Suddenly, I found myself awake.
Nice. Anyway, picked one up there, and I was like, whoa, this nail polish is actually really nice.
It's actually really nice.
Actually, it's really nice. I'm going all in. And I have a lot of the polishes now, but it's fun.
It's great.
And
Made your list.
The kit's amazing, and I use it all the time.
Okay, next category is, and then we'll get into more serious ones. This is the last sort of fun one. Your favorite podcast episodes that we did. And this is the one that I would love to know. If you're listening,
other people.
Yeah, if you're listening, I'd love to know all your categories, but if you're listening or watching on YouTube, comment below. I would love to know what your favorite podcast episodes were, because then that would help us plan for the next year and really be able to understand topics and things like that.
So what is this planning you speak of?
Well, I think it's something that people do, and I've been doing some research. I don't know if it's planning or planning. I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't know how they pronounce it, but I think it might help us.
Maybe.
It's not true. We plan.
I know, we do.
So podcast episodes, I couldn't just pick 4, so I just kept typing. Really like the Lies We Believe About Ourselves episode, because I feel like I was very honest in that one. Your Voice Matters, obviously our most listened to episode, with Brooke telling the story about her voice, and I just feel like that one is really powerful, and it's impacted a lot of people for good. How Your Dominoes Fall, which is where we stole an analogy from the Sleeping Out Last podcast and brought it over and talked about it in more detail. But that analogy, metaphor, whatever, I'm never sure.
It's a metaphor.
Oh, my mom was gone. Should I pick it up live?
Cindy. Would it work?
It would.
I don't know.
I'm going to do it.
Are you prepared to cut it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mom, we're recording the podcast right now.
And you're live.
And you're live.
Oh, she can't hear us.
She can't hear me. Never mind. It didn't go.
I'll text her.
Yeah, text her. Tell her I'll call her back.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear though? Do we need to talk about June spending the night? That's so funny.
Yeah, it rang in here, and then maybe because I ignored it, it didn't come.
It.
I really liked our most giggly episode yet. I mean, that one was just that was just so funny. If you haven't listened to it, that's 8 minutes long. Well worth it. I wish that one was on video.
Yeah.
Because it was.
We were laughing really hard.
Obviously Brooke's Christmas surprise. I don't know if I'll ever top that. And then I really liked, and it's funny, the first and the last one I both typed are both similar topics for me. The The last one is Don't Let the Internet Tell You Who to Be, part 2 of the Walk in Love story. And that was honestly one of the lies I believed about myself. And so those two I felt like were areas that I, in this last year, have really come to like dig into and understand better about myself so I can step forward with more of who God has created me to be. So those are my favorites. I'd love to know yours, and I'd love to know yours, Brooke.
Oh,
see, I was going yours.
Everybody's. Mine would be Your Voice Matters, which is funny. I actually don't listen to a lot of our episodes. Every once in a while, I'll just like randomly listen to a segment to just be like, I don't know, does it sound okay?
Right.
Like, what does it sound like? Because you kind of get to listen to clips when you're uploading. But that's one I haven't gone back and listened to. I don't know. I just haven't. It's long. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm afraid I'll cry. I don't know.
Definitely both.
Your Voice Matters, our most giggly episode yet.
Yes.
Just because it was so ridiculous. And I kept being like, are we allowed to do this? Are we allowed to say this? Like as if some, I don't know, we were going to like get in trouble.
Right.
For saying that on the internet.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You consider what is said on the internet. I really liked Comparison is the Thief of Joy, which was a more recent one.
Yep.
And then I liked Build a New Boat.
Oh, that's good.
Because that was a metaphor.
Yeah. We don't know.
We don't know. That we kind of came up with, unpacked, and then talked about all within this year.
Yeah. A lot of people have messaged us about that one, which is cool.
And that's cool.
Yeah. I'd love to know listeners which is your favorite. So can't really leave a review for that. So you'd have to go to YouTube. So now we're going to get into the more serious part of the episode. I don't think it'll be very much longer though. So at the beginning of the year, we did our Mount Rushmores for 2020. We predicted what they would be. So we're going to do that at the end and then actually line it up with what we thought they were.
Yeah.
But before that, what are some of the biggest lessons? We aren't going to totally unpack all of these in detail, but what are some of the biggest lessons we learned in 2020? And that you're most excited about, most thankful for, or whatever, lessons learned. Yeah. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I can go first because I actually only have 3 right now. So my first one would be sort of a continuation of my, what I think was my biggest lesson last year, which was to keep showing up. That's something that's harder for me versus maybe somebody else. But so for sure, something that I continued to learn this year was like, just keep showing up.
Yep.
Don't go into low power mode.
Yep.
Call it what it is. And if I need to admit, like, I don't want to do anything today, like even just saying that and then showing up however I can.
We've been doing something in our house. I don't know if we talked about this last week. We've been calling it Selfish Brooke, Selfish TJ. Did we talk about that?
I feel like we hinted, but maybe didn't really talk about it.
I'll go, Selfish TJ just wants to go downstairs and plays video games and eat sour candy. I said it,
Yeah.
Selfish TJ doesn't want to put the kids to bed. I said it. And that just helped us like understand each other better and like know sometimes where our head is and then just be like, but I'm not selfish.
Right.
So I'm going to push through.
Yeah.
And so, that's what kind of showing up for you, I think, looks like sometimes is like acknowledging I don't want to do this, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of showing up for anybody. Like,
right.
Because a lot of times you have to show up to stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, eating vegetables. Salad.
It's a new vegetable for me. Okay. And then the idea of like little by little is a real thing.
Right.
Like, which of course it is.
Yes.
And it's easy to see in your kids and it's easier to see maybe in what somebody else is doing. Like, oh, wow, they ate healthy for a whole year and they look so great or, whatever. But then I don't know. I tend to discredit things like that in my own life. And be like, it's not going to make a difference.
Right.
And it absolutely does. Yes. Imagine that. So if you were to read a little every day, you probably could do 2 books in a month.
And what are some ways that you feel like that really happened this year?
Probably the main way, unless I'm forgetting something, is that when I don't love going to the gym. I'm not a gym person. I don't even really love working out. But there were times where I would just do 100 of something. So this is so silly, but back when I used to do cheerleading, one of our coaches used to count our ab exercises. Like we would do 100, but she would always count it 30, 20, 20, 20, 10.
Yeah.
And that makes 100.
Yeah.
Like, and so
that's how math works.
Yeah. And I'm like, does it? Did I say that many times? 30, 20, 20, 20, 10. No, that's right.
99-1. Yep.
Right. Yeah, got it. Okay. I understand what I'm doing. But anyway, so I would tell myself, don't overthink it.
Yep.
Do anything.
Yeah. Squats.
Literally anything.
Jumps.
Because I'd be like, well, that was all upper body. I should try to switch it up, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't do anything, and I'm worried I'm doing the wrong thing, and I'm not the best thing. And so for a long time, even to this day, sometimes I'll just be in the living room and be like, I'm going to do 100 of insert whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'd have moments where I'm like, oh, my word, I'm a lot stronger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That just doing that has made...
That's
I lifted Sunny into the car the other day, like in one big swoop.
Yeah, one big swoop.
One just beautiful,
spun her on your finger
graceful
and just
swoop.
Threw her in there.
And I was like, oh, I don't think I could have done that earlier this year. Not without like, like hurting myself in my beef jerky neck, maybe. So,
maybe that's one of the lessons. Maybe that could be the fourth. That beef jerky neck is a thing.
It's a thing, and y'all should get it worked out. And then my last lesson would be that figuring it out as you go or adjusting as you go does not mean you failed, which is harder for
that'll
me.
Preach. Say that again.
Adjusting as you go does not mean you failed.
Someone needs to hear that.
Yeah. Because that's me.
Yeah.
I'll get in my head and I'll think, well, I should have just done it right from the start.
Right.
Or I should have known this from the start. Or how did I not know this?
Right.
And I'm like, what do you mean, how did I not know this?
I've
never had a kid before, or I've never done whatever before.
Would one of those things be like your beauty, you did be a beauty counter, and then you were going to sell like note cards and things like that.
Yeah.
And it was like you launched it, and it was like things happened, and and you've adjusted as you go. Would that be one of the things?
Sure, it could be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just anything.
That's cool.
Like literally anything. I can't even think of an example because I could insert anything. Meal planning, working out, schedules, rhythms, anything. Like
I would say that one, I don't know why I think of that one, because I think sometimes you're harder on yourself in the business professional side of things.
Right.
And so I was impressed with you. One, that you did that. You just went for it. And that two, you didn't like put all your eggs in that basket and like totally pull it back and be like, never mind, I didn't want to do it. Because I think that's sometimes what people do. Like, oh, just kidding. Like I wasn't really serious about it because it's not doing well, or it's not doing what I thought it would.
Fine. It was too much. It was, I need to do it differently. So it's easier for me.
Right. Exactly. But you kept doing it in a way that made sense for the season. And so kudos to you, because I actually saw that happen.
Oh, that's
from
cool.
a business side, which I think is harder sometimes for you and for me to, it's just different. The stakes are different. The feeling is different. Where like a meal plan adjusting, like no one sees that.
Correct.
And so,
although sometimes I'll get in my head about that.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do this on Monday. Why didn't I do it on Monday?
Right.
Do I not like, why did I choose that? Why did I assign it to Monday? Like that is what goes on in my head, and it's exhausting. And so to realize like, we just need to eat dinner tonight. Whatever it is fine.
Right. Amen.
So
that's good.
Those are mine.
So mine are, this was a year, I'll actually give my little spiel on the year at the end.
No,
different.
Got it.
Different. Both good, but different.
Are you saying see the world or see world?
I'm saying these are the lessons that I learned this year. Sabbath does change everything.
Yeah.
And so establishing a family dinner on Friday night and a Sabbath onto Saturday has been life-changing, life-giving, soul-giving. Everything about it has benefited us.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have said that a year ago. I don't know if I would have even believed that a year ago. And I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot recommend finding a rhythm, a 7-day rhythm, and stepping into it and adjusting it as you go, which we've done. And we will continue to do as our kids change ages, as they go to school or don't go to school, as they have summer vacation or, whatever.
Yeah.
All those things kind of change the rhythm, but having it and establishing it is so valuable to your soul and to your family and to your life. And so that was hands down the biggest takeaway from this year. We celebrated a year of having family dinners. And as chaotic as life felt this year for a lot of people, I felt like we had that anchor.
Yes.
Every Friday night into Saturday, that was our anchor. It was the anchor to our soul. It was our hope. A hope anchors the soul, and that was it. We knew what was coming. We knew it was there. Our kids knew it was there. They saw it being established. And I feel like we added another element last week that was so good So we don't have a TV in our living room.
Yeah.
And so Brooke had this idea to invite Taylor and Kelsey and their family over to watch a movie. And so we brought a TV up from the basement, put it in the living room, had a big family movie night with 2 families. It was awesome. And I was like, we need to add this to our rhythm.
Yeah.
And so now after family dinner, after ice cream is served and eaten, I bring the TV up and we're going to do a family movie right then and there. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
So finding the rhythm and protecting the rhythm and having Sabbath were all huge things for the biggest lesson I learned this year. The next one was that the fruits of trusting God don't always appear the way you thought they would. And just like to come out of 2018, which was a terrible year for us financially, make a big decision that we thought would make an even worse year for us financially.
Right.
And then 2 years removed, having one of the best years we've ever had financially.
Yeah.
Just feels unreal and something that I never expected to happen. Like I just got goosebumps just talking about, which is
goosebumps walk away.
Goosebumps walk away. Yeah, that like I didn't know that would happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there would be fruits that happen later and that I'm still seeing in my life on a daily basis. But like the trusting God, you don't see any of that. You just trust. You just step in. You go for it. You have faith, and you don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes good things happen. Sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah.
And so just like knowing that like the trusting of God matters no matter when it's happening or what he's calling you to do, because you don't understand the perspective and the big picture of it. And so that was just cool to learn that this year over and over again. The other lesson that I feel like I learned this year are that your kids are worth figuring out. Your kids are worth all the energy to figure them out, to figure yourself out, to be a better parent. And so we all have baggage. Our parents did the best they could, or they did a terrible job. We don't know. Like, I don't know you. I don't know your story, but like my parents did the best they could, but I still have baggage from my childhood. I still have things that I need to work through.
Right.
And my kids will too.
Yeah.
And I need to understand that and know that I can't bubble wrap them from all tragedy and all heartache.
Right.
But I can be there for them while they walk through it. And so that is not an easy lesson for me to learn. Melancholy is not a place that I sit naturally. Sadness is not an emotion that I want to feel over and over again. But toddlers feel it every day. And I could try to just joke and laugh them out of it, which I do sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, this is a dumb thing to be sad about. But sometimes it's real. It's so real for them. And to not acknowledge that in their lives, I think would do them more harm than good.
Absolutely.
And so learning to acknowledge that has been very good and very hard for me. But it's a lesson that I'm learning and will continue to learn and will continue to step in, because if I can handle it now when they're sad because a stuffed animal was donated and they've been looking for it for 2 weeks.
What? No, that never happened.
That's fine. I can be there for them when they get dumped.
Yeah.
You know, which will happen.
Gosh.
It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Did you ever get dumped?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, Brooke Renee.
I did, kind of.
Oh, sort of. Yeah, I never got dumped either. Not 100 times. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's
I don't have any childhood wounds.
The flames.
The last
erupt.
lesson I'm gonna save till the end.
Okay.
And so we did at the beginning of the year, I was almost gonna play the clip, but it's kind of long.
That's fine.
We did a Mount Rushmore of what we thought our Mount Rushmore of 2020 would be. And so we're gonna say I'm gonna read those off, and then we're gonna say our actual Mount Rushmore of 2020. So mine were. This was, again, at the very beginning.
This is your prediction.
So my prediction for 2020, my Mount Rushmore 2020 would be our shirt releases.
Okay.
The integrated group that I joined. Hershey Park season passes. And being debt-free.
Okay.
Brooks were her beauty counter trip, which she took in January.
Yep.
Being debt-free.
Yep.
Working on her dad's music stuff.
Yep.
And making the most of seasons. So I'll go first.
Okay.
Never went to Hershey Park once.
I know. 2020.
2020, they opened it, but they were requiring masks for all guests, and I just don't like wearing a mask. So I was like, I just don't want it to be ruined.
Yeah.
So we actually got our money back. We got our passes back. It was fine.
But we didn't go.
But we didn't go a single time. So big swing and a miss on that one. But the other ones were sort of right.
Okay.
So the shirt releases, that I would expand on that and say, the incredible support from our audience is in my Mount Rushmore of 2020.
Yeah.
The way that you guys showed up for us and bought shirts and watched things and listened to things. Like, it is unbelievable to me. Something I never thought would happen in the way that it's happened. And yeah, I can't say thank you enough. We hope that we honor you well with the attention, the views and the likes and all the stuff that you give us, money, whatever. We hope that we honor it well and that we're good stewards of it. And that's our prayer almost every night as a family. Like, let us be good stewards of what we've been given.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me emotional thinking about the way that you guys supported us in 2020. So that sort of is similar to shirt releases, but it's funny. My perspective has changed so much that it's like when I said that, I'm like, they're going to be good and we're going to make money from them. Like, I can tell that that's what I was saying when I listened to the clip.
Right.
When in reality, like, that's not even what I'm thankful for. Like, yes, they did do well financially, but what I'm thankful for is that people believe in us and people believe in what we're doing. And that really touches me more than, money.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But the money did help reach the other goal, which is being debt free.
Yes.
And that was huge. That's something we've been working on for a long, long time. And I did not think it would happen this year, 2 years ago, but it did. And that's just incredible. And you're to thank for that. So that was the same. The integrated group was definitely a highlight of this year. I wouldn't put in the Mount Rushmore, but what I would put in the Mount Rushmore is what I learned in that group.
Yeah.
So like, I love all those guys. I love being with those guys, but learning about rhythms and 7-day rhythms and Sabbath and family meals and that kind of thing, that is in my Mount Rushmore for this year. So it was from the group, but it's just kind of played out differently. And then the other thing that's in my Mount Rushmore for 2020, which is
kind of shocking considering what went on this year, was the traveling we did as a family. Yeah.
I wouldn't say we're jet setters by any means.
No.
We have been able to travel probably more than the average person because my mom is a flight attendant. And so we can get really cheap tickets, as long as the flights look good.
Yeah.
But in a year where travel basically halted, we traveled more than we ever did.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
And only one of those. So we went to Maui, which we documented kind of last minute, went to Maui, which was amazing. Thanks to the Bethkes and my mom. And then we came home and everything got shut down.
Yep.
And then we went on a family vacation. We drove to Stone Harbor, New Jersey and did that for a week, which was the first time we've done that. And that will now become a rhythm, a yearly rhythm that we do. We had a huge family trip for my side of the family where we all went to the Outer Banks.
Yes.
Which was for my parents' anniversary. That was super fun. I did get sick, but other than that, it was super fun. And then we also, early on when things were shut down, I bought super cheap tickets to go to San Diego to visit my sister.
Yeah.
She bought a house between the time I bought the tickets and the time we went.
Yeah.
So we got to stay with her for a week, which was also really fun. So that one is shocking to me, but that one kind of replaced the summer at Hershey Park that I thought we would have. It was like,
it was an experience. Yeah.
And we got to do a lot of cool things that I did not see coming. And what's interesting to me is like the Mount Rushmore 2020, I feel like they're all tied together. Let me tie them together just so you can see, I think, the providence of God and just how he works. So I went to this group. I joined this group I was given a gift of being in this group by Jeff and Jeremy. And I joined it because I was like, this sounds great. I want to understand how God's created us to interact as a family and what is best. What are the best practices for that? And through those rhythms, we ended up having one of the best years ever. Our audience supported us and showed up for us. And I'm not saying that one guarantees the other. Like, I'll never say that. Like, but it happened that way.
Yeah.
And so to see our audience support us, which allowed us to get debt free, which was a huge goal, and just like I could literally feel. I mean, we still are on our mortgage. We're not there yet, but I could literally feel the stress just like come off of my body.
Yeah.
Like and stay off.
Yeah.
Like we're never going back there.
Yeah.
Never.
Never. Click.
And then because of that, we were able to do things that we hadn't been able to do, like travel a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
buy a couch.
Yeah, buy a couch, which was really nice. So it was just cool to see all that stuff happen, and really just it was amazing. Yeah. So that was my Mount Rushmore 2020.
Yeah.
Almost similar to what I predicted.
Right.
But not really.
Yeah. So my actual, my real Mount Rushmore of 2020, I didn't even write down because it's literally identical to what you just said. I'm sure some of my reasoning is like a touch different, but Yeah, what I had predicted for this year, one of them was like making the most of all the seasons, which I really feel like I did a good job.
Yeah.
It looked different.
Right.
Because like we didn't go to Hershey Park or we didn't like do some of these things that I
Very
thought.
thankful my sister has a pool.
Yes, I'm so thankful they have a pool. Because that really makes things feel like summer. And then we just, like we were outside a lot this spring because that was really during quarantine. And it was kind of a mild spring for us. I remember thinking, I'm so grateful it's so nice out right now because we were just outside like every day.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And then it's funny, I had on my list the beauty counter trip I took because we would have recorded that and then I would have left like 2 weeks later. That does not make my list. However, similar to you saying like the integrated group, what I learned on that trip or what I took away from that trip absolutely led me towards having the best year I've ever had in that business.
With beauty counter,
which was cool.
Yeah.
That like the results of that trip would be on my list of just like, being debt free. Like that was a huge help towards that.
Oh yeah.
Which is really cool. But yeah, mine would be the same. It'd be the traveling we did, specifically our Stone Harbor trip as a family.
Yes.
Because that was just the 4 of us. And like we do other trips, just the 4 of us, but we travel to see someone or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm not going to repeat it all again, but yes, it's the same stuff.
It was interesting. We just signed up to have a financial planner, friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he sent us this like survey, and it was like, one of the questions was like, tell us when your family was at their best, like when you're in your sweet spot. And even without interacting with each other, we both thought of the Stone Harbor trip.
Yeah.
And I just like, I have to look back at that and just be like, it was just the 4 of us. It was simple.
Very.
We did
almost
the same thing every single day.
Which helped the kids not be like, oh.
So it was like a rhythm to vacation, but it was like the best day every day. As June said, the best day ever.
Yeah.
Or like the best day with you. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool to think that. So I'll end with this. This is the 4th lesson that I've learned this year. And let me get to it. 2020 has been considered the year of the meme, I would say. Like, that's what I would consider it. It's like the year of like, we're out of toilet paper. Oh, it's 2020. Oh, it's 2020. Like,
or every
insert any bad thing, like I spill this can. 2020, honey.
Right.
Which I get. Like,
it's funny.
It's funny, and there were some really extreme things that happened this year.
Yeah.
But what I would say, what I would say is that like every year people have a good year, and every year people have a bad year. That is true.
Some people, you mean? Yeah.
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 Brooke and I had a really great year this year.
Yeah.
Our marriage was strong. Our family rhythm was strong. We did things that we never thought we'd be able to do.
Yeah.
And so like we had a really good year. Some of you listening might have had a terrible year.
Yeah.
Like probably maybe one of your worst.
Yeah.
For us, that was 2018.
Yeah.
And so what I think 2020 taught us was we need to prepare ourselves for trials, troubles, tribulation, exhaustion, fatigue, stress, anxiety.
Yeah.
By resting in the peace of God, by finding rest in Jesus's arms. And I don't think a lot of us are prepared for that, myself included at times, because 2018 basically almost destroyed me.
Yeah.
Not really, but it was like I was not prepared. My heart wasn't prepared. My soul wasn't prepared. And everything just felt like I was trudging through tar.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the lessons that we need to learn from the year where everyone's like, oh, it's the worst, is that this might happen again to some people.
Yeah.
This might happen to friends. This might happen to you. This might happen to family. This might happen to us.
Right.
And what we need to do is build our foundation on solid rock. We only get one life. This is the lesson. We only get one beautiful, magnificent, magical life. That's it. And we need to build our foundation on Jesus, on rock, so that we can withstand the storm and live that life to the fullest. One of my favorite verses in the Bible, Jesus says, I have come that you may have life and life to the full. And I don't know if a lot of us lived our fullest life this year. Not because we didn't want to, but because we weren't prepared for the trials. We weren't prepared for the tribulation. We weren't prepared for the shutdowns or the closures or whatever, and the sickness, the disease, whatever. And so we found ourselves not living our fullest life for Jesus. And that to me is sad. And that's hard. And like, that's going to happen. I know that. I'm not like pointing fingers and saying you should have done better. Like,
right.
But we probably could have done better.
Well, I think, because I think people be like, how could we be prepared for what happened? And I get that. Like, this was sort of unprecedented for sure. But it's what you do after you receive that information.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you do after a diagnosis. Yeah. It's what you do after whatever the information comes in.
Yeah.
That's where you can show up.
Yes.
And pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot and like figure it out.
And so, you know, people who go through tragedy will tell you this. They'll say, you know, I wasn't prepared. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can ever be prepared for tragedy. Obviously not. But what you can do is build your foundation on the Lord, trust in him, understand who he's called you to be and who's created you to be, understand what it means to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, understand those things, try to step into those things more fully, so that when these trials come, you can push through them and you can enjoy the one beautiful life that you've been given.
Yeah.
And again, not easy. I know I might be painting with a broad brush for some people, but I just felt like that, like the year was hard for a lot of people, but not for everybody.
Yeah.
And 2021 might be hard for some people, but not for everybody. And so if it ends up being hard for you, you know, we need to be as prepared as we can be, at least in our hearts. That's
what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not like, cause, you know,
like a bunch of toilet paper in the basement.
Right.
Like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt, but maybe not that. Yeah.
Yeah. Be prepared in your heart. Like, cause like, for example, like my mom got diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago, and she just like she was scared and we were scared and everyone was scared. And she even tells me this, she's like, you backed away from me because you don't like the sadness of it. And I feel bad for that.
She understands that now.
She understands that now. And I understand myself better now that if that happened again, I think I'd be there in more of an adequate way than I was.
Yeah.
But she walked through it like a rock star because I think she knows who her faith is in and who her foundation is in. And so like, you know, that is inspiring and that is incredible. And so like, that's who I want to be. I want to be that person. Not that I want tragedy to come, but it's inevitable. Yeah. Like it is inevitable. It is going to come, and we can rest assured in the arms of Jesus and step forward into it a little bit better than.
And maybe it won't be tragedy, you know,
right.
Joking about buttons we've been clicking. Like, you know, maybe it's not like everything's great or tragedy.
It's not
probably,
that?
No, it's probably more in the middle, T, which
Thanks
would
for
be
the perspective.
Are you saying see the world
just an idea.
or see world?
You know.
There's only two options.
I know. No, there's a maybe or an occasionally, which is like heartache, disappointment.
Yes.
Things like that. And if you can just like know where you stand and in your faith, and you can have what we always say, which is like the language and vocabulary to explain what you're thinking, feeling, all the things. Like if you can walk through those, I do believe that something like a tragedy is a touch easier. Yeah. You know, not significantly, right? But maybe you don't feel as much like the rug came out from under you.
Right. Yeah. So that was the lesson in a long way, that we only get one life, and like Jesus came so that we could have that life to the full. Mm-hmm. And we need to sometimes prepare ourselves to be able to do that in all seasons, all, you know, ways. So that's it. Last episode of the year.
It's good.
Did that make sense? I feel like did that make sense?
Yeah, okay. I think I know. I never know. And then I'm like, well, I hope they like it. Upload. Oh gosh, you know, hope we make sense. Yeah.
I'm trying to be encouraging.
Yes.
I hope I am.
Yeah.
If I'm not, I'm sorry. Please write me a strongly worded email.
Please don't. No.
But that's it for 2020 for the podcast.
Yeah.
We're a little bit of housekeeping, I guess. We're going to turn off our phone. We're going to turn off social media for the first month of the year.
Yes.
But we're still going to do the podcast.
Yep. And
we're still going to upload it to YouTube. Okay. I know that some people, YouTube's like kind of like a social media light, I guess. I don't know.
Do YouTube. I don't watch YouTube. Like, I'm not on there consuming content.
But we will like interact on YouTube a little bit, you know. But yeah, we just, again, thank you for supporting us this year. Thank you for showing up for us this year and buying t-shirts and joining us for live stream. Oh yeah, we're having the live stream at the end of the year. You can join us for that, 9 p.m. Eastern, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We'll also have a design for sale, and we're refunding. Let me start over.
We're having a live stream at the end of the year. 9 p.m. to midnight on the East Coast. The day before the live stream or 2 days before, we're going to make a design for sale for until the live stream ends.
Right.
As you buy that design, every 10 minutes during the live stream, we're going to refund 2 orders. One of those orders will be from anybody who's purchased it, whether you're watching or not. And then one of those orders will be from someone who's purchased it and is watching.
Ooh.
So if you're watching, you get double the chances to win your order for free. Just to say thanks for the year. We're going to give away some stuff. And the design is In All Things Give Thanks. And we just felt like that was an appropriate design to end the year with, to hopefully prepare our hearts for next year, to just like be thankful for the Lord and be thankful for Jesus and what he's given to us, no matter what our outside circumstances are.
Yeah.
So that'll happen. That's super fun. But again, thank you for the year that you've given us. Thank you for the blessing that you are to us. Thank you for listening and showing up and being fun and making jokes and making fun of me for not finding my pocket and not remembering things like Brooke. Like, thank you. We can't say it enough. We so appreciate it. And we hope that we steward it well into 2021 and to the years beyond. Nice. That was good though.
I was there for it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh
no. Wrong music.
Sorry, I hit that by accident. I was so excited. I loved your sound effect.
What's so
still going? Can't stop it. There we go. Thank you again.
Yes.
That's it for 2020 podcast.
Wow.
Okay, I love you. Bye.